Hello dear learners, welcome again. In this video I am going to discuss the difference between micro and macroeconomics. So if you find this video useful, please like it, and if you have not subscribed my channel yet, please subscribe it. It's for free, you don't have to pay for it. So let us start with the difference between micro versus macroeconomics. The word micro, this means small. The meaning of micro means small. It is a study of individuals or groups, right, at the small level, right. According to Shapiro, microeconomics deals with small parts of the whole economy. So it studies part of the economy. It is a piecemeal study, you can say. On the other hand, macro means large, aggregate. It studies the whole economy as a whole, right. This is the first basic difference. Micro studies individuals or group of individuals, which is part of the whole economy, whereas macro means large and it studies the whole economy or the variables which are related to the entire economy as a whole. Second difference, microeconomics is the study of particular household, particular firms, particular industries, particular commodities, particular prices. So it is related to particular variables at individual level. On the other hand, macroeconomics deals with aggregates of these quantities, right? Not at individual level, but at the national level, at the economy level, right. It studies the national income, not the individual income or individual prices, right. So it is not concerned with individual output. Macroeconomics is not concerned with individual output, but it is concerned with the national output. So in short, you can say that microeconomics is concerned with individual particular aspects at the individual level, smaller level, whereas macroeconomics deals with aggregates and averages which are related to the entire economy. Third important difference between micro and macroeconomics is that the objective of microeconomics is to maximize utility, or if it is a firm, maximization of profit or minimization of cost, right. But objectives of macroeconomics are full employment, price stability, economic growth, or favorable balance of payment. All these aspects are relevant for the economy as a whole, right. Full employment is the goal, objective of an economy. Price stability, objective and goal of an economy, right. So macroeconomics goal is which is concerned with the economy as a whole, whereas objective of microeconomics is concerned with individual company, individual household. So their goals are to maximize utility or maximize profit. Okay, next is fourth difference. The basis of microeconomics is price mechanism. Price is determined with the interaction of demand and supply forces, and these forces determine the equilibrium price in the market. So the focal point, the basis of microeconomics is price or price mechanism. On the other hand, basis of macroeconomics are the income, national income, output, employment, general price level. Here it is individual price, whereas in macroeconomics it is general price level, and it is determined by the interaction of aggregate demand and aggregate supply. Okay, so this is the fourth difference between micro and macroeconomics. Fifth one, microeconomics is based on the assumption of ceteris paribus, which means other things remaining constant, to explain various laws like law of demand, laws of supply, right. It means microeconomics uses technique of partial equilibrium. It is not complete or full or general equilibrium, but individual partial equilibrium, it considers other things constant, then tries to correlate to variables, right, which explains equilibrium conditions of an individual firm or an industry. Whereas macroeconomics uses the technique of general equilibrium, simultaneous equilibrium in the overall economy, which studies aggregate economic variable and their interrelations. So this is the fifth difference between micro and macroeconomics. Sixth one, microeconomics is a static analysis. It is a static analysis. It is not dynamic, whereas macroeconomics is dynamic in nature, right? Because in case of microeconomics, we consider things as constant. At a point of time, we try to measure it and see the variable changing, whereas in case of macroeconomics, the variables, all variables are free to change, and then we try to see the simultaneous equilibrium. So microeconomics does not take into account the time element. It does not consider the lagged value, whereas macroeconomics consider the lag value, lag term, right? This is 2020. We consider the value of 2019, 2018, and then we try to correlate and see the situation, right? Whereas in microeconomics, we consider the static values, static variables, right? So macroeconomics, the rates of change we consider, the past values and expected values of the variables we try to predict and forecast, right? So this way microeconomics is static, whereas macroeconomics is dynamic. So this is the sixth difference between micro and macro. Seventh one, the variables of microeconomics are taken as given or constant, whereas in macroeconomics the variables of macroeconomics are taken as given in microeconomics, right? Variables of microeconomics are taken as given in macroeconomics, whereas variables of macroeconomics are taken as given while we study microeconomics. So microeconomics assumes full employment, which is the variable of macroeconomics. Optimum allocation of total resources and general price levels are given, right, while we study microeconomics. Whereas when we study macroeconomics, we assume a situation less than full employment and it studies underemployment. It takes general price level as variable and assumes price of particular product and or factor as given, right? So that is the meaning of this seventh difference between micro and macro. Well, when you study microeconomic variables, you consider macro variables as constant and given, and when you study macro variables, consider the micro variables as constant. So this is the seventh difference. Eighth one, microeconomics economic problems are many. It possesses maximum generality and applicability to a wide range of situations. Means in microeconomics the problems are so many because you study millions of individual entity, and millions of individual entity have several individual problems, but macroeconomics seeks practical understanding of an economy as a whole. So the problems at macro level, macroeconomic problems are relatively less or few, so and they are specific, like problem of unemployment, problem of poverty, right, the inflation problem or balance of payment deficit problem. So these are few selective problems at macro level, whereas at micro level the problems are so many because of the variables, individual entities are so many. Ninth one is, under micro study the main problem is of price determination, whereas under macroeconomics the main problem is income determination, right? So this is the ninth difference. 10th one, micro studies based on the objective of optimum allocation of resources, optimization at individual, whatever resources, income, money, time, whatever is there, you try to optimize, right? Whereas at macro study, it is based on the objective of full employment of total resources, not at the individual level, but in general we try to see how the total resources of overall country and economy can be fully utilized, can be we can achieve the full employment in the economy. So these are some of the basic fundamental differences between micro and macroeconomics. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching.